moving forward, the album got 4 mics in the source at the time. Was reviews, did they matter to you, or did you know you had your best effort in hand?
Yeah, I liked definitely mics meant something at that time. You know what I mean? Later on, they started just giving them out, but like those mics definitely meant something. And did we hope that we could get a 5 mic joint again? Of course. You know what I mean? But to get 4 mics, was it 4 or 4.5?
4, but I give you 4.5.
Okay. Yeah, to get 4 mics. Listen, I was not mad at it. That's damn great, because that's what a lot of good shit was getting 4 mics.
Right.
5 mics was just some extra special shit.
That was almost
so
impossible.
That we could get 4 mics and Pooh Bah wasn't present, that was a win. You know what I mean? That was a super win, and I was happy with that.
I told you we were going to laugh at the naysayers at this point, so you were getting a little friction from people that didn't think you can do it. After this album drops, what are they saying now?
Now it's all good. They're not saying nothing. They're just like, now we doing shows and nobody's, asking for Pooh Bah and all of that. They know what it is, and you know what I mean? And we got our own joints, and we just doing shows, and now we just trying to keep shit calm because, honestly, a lot of people did get beat up to that Punk Jump Up song. Like it was almost like people would wait. Like if they had a grudge or some shit with somebody, they would wait till that point in the show when that song comes on, and then it's like, now! And yo.
That was my next question. As far as tour lineups for this particular album, what was your favorite tour going on for this album? And then the second part is what show sticks out to who got beat up during that song? Not who, but just what show and what did you see?
I could definitely give you a who too, because this is funny. Damn, what tour? We was on so many. We had so many shows, man. It's hard to remember, man. Who was we going out with at that time?
I'm trying to think who was hot. Maybe Tribe, maybe Souls of Mischief, maybe Diamond.
Well, we wasn't touring with. See, we would just do shows with all of those people, but not necessarily a tour. Like,
okay.
What I mean? I can't remember the tour part, but I remember one time who got beat up was
exclusive.
And it's my man. I hate to say it, but shout out Mark the Spark. This is X's man. Mark, you remember this shit. So I forget where we was at, but we're doing a show. This is just me and X now time, and I don't know if this is common knowledge, but a lot of girls used to like us, right? So, we had mad girls in the front of the stage, like, you know what I mean? And they're fucking pulling on our legs and all this crazy shit, right? And I used to tell, other people that was with us, stay back. Don't be coming to the front of the stage and all that type of shit. Like, you know what I mean? I don't mind you being out here, but we're the only ones that should be at the front of the stage. So, Mark the Spark decides to go towards the front of the stage, and like some girls start grabbing his leg, and like in order to like shake them off, he tried to shake his leg off and inadvertently kicked one of the girls, right? So boom. Now this is a little bit earlier though. So now it's time for Punk's Jump Up. We do the shit. Shit is, you know what I mean? We drop it, it's getting crazy. This motherfucker, Mark the Spark, decides to walk up towards the front of the stage, as it's getting hype. and some dudes grab him and pull him into the crowd and start swinging on him. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got the mic. I might have jumped out there. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, that's my man. And then people's like, yo, he kicked the girl.
He was like, well,
it's trying to explain why, you know? And I'm thinking like, I did tell you to fucking not, you know, I'm thinking, but then, you know, I'm just like, yo, fuck that, you know, that's my man. Like, you know what I mean?
right.
Like, leave him, you know what I mean? So we got him up out of there, whatever. And we continued the show and all of that. But, yeah. That's something that I clearly remember. Other than that, you know, it was just random people out in the crowd. Like, we would just be performing, and then all of a sudden you'd see a commotion, you know, out in the middle of somewhere, and that would just happen, like, frequently.
I think that and probably Ante Up are probably the top songs. Somebody's definitely going to end up getting beat down.
Oh, yeah. Well, Ante Up, you can get robbed on that song. Yeah. This was just, getting grudges off. People's getting grudges off. Like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Overall, was Lord Jamar pleased with that second album? And is there anything that was maybe missing that we may not know about? A producer, a guest appearance? Overall, were you completely happy with that project?
I mean, you never, you know, completely happy. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess I was happy with it at the time. You know what I mean? When I go back in retrospect, there's so many things like production wise that I'm like kind of cringing, like, oh, I could have did better, you know, but I didn't know. I was, you know, this is our first time fucking with the equipment like that. You know what I mean? And we're still new. You know, see, we were lucky enough to come up at a time where you could be making albums and still be learning. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if people have the luxury of that these days. These guys got to come in from the gate now sounding super professional with the illest mixes and the beats crazy produced. You know what I mean? Like, they used to give people what was it called? Like demo budgets. They used to give certain groups demo budgets to just see, like, you know what I mean? Let them see if they could develop themselves, type of shit. Like, and I think that's something that the music industry misses. But I'm glad that we came up in that time where I was able to learn as I was going along, and you know, my learning phase shit was some strong shit. So now it's like, now that I know what I know now, especially as a producer and all of that, you know, I would definitely want to go back and maybe fuck with some of those tracks and like do it right. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Like, yeah. But other than that, you know, it is what it is. And I'm happy with where it stands in hip hop history and how it affected people. A lot of people say they got knowledge of self off of that album. You know, and I'm grateful, you know.
What do you think it is particularly about this project that we're still talking about it 30 years later?
Again, I think we were consciously trying to make classic music, you know, and when you say classic, you know, that's almost synonymous with timeless, you know. Something that stands the test of time is classic. And I think because we were trying to do that and we had that intention, that, you know, the universe just had to match the intention, you know? And right. Since we wanted to do that, that's what we did. So now that's why you hear 30 years later talking about this shit. You know what I mean? Right. That's what we wanted you to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hey, this has been a great interview. Before we get out of here, once again, congratulations on a classic 30th anniversary. Tell us a little bit about your podcast and plans for Lord Jamar 2023.
Hey, you're not a mean Godcast. On YouTube, check us out. You know, I'll be on there. Me, Rob Digger, Godfrey, my man Artie Stacks. Yeah, been doing it a few years now. You know, for some people of this generation, that's all they know me from. It's from being online and shit like that. Yeah, so that's a whole nother whole nother thing. So we keeping that going. And yeah, you know, I'm still producing. You know, my sword is still sharp. You might even hear some records. I don't know. I'll let you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Any plans for a 30th anniversary tour for this album?
You know, Diamond D just hit me up earlier today talking about that. Like, yo, we need, because he just had a 30th anniversary as well. I don't know. No, there's no plans, but you know, anything can happen. Right. We definitely got shows and stuff coming up though.
Right. Any other avenues Lord Jamar is exploring or would like to explore?
I mean, you know, I still do my acting thing, you know, when there's something that you know, I feel like I would want to be involved with type of thing. But as we go on, it's getting harder and harder with the type of roles they have, you know, for black men. That's all I could say.
Right.
So who knows? Maybe I'll put something together, you know,
right,
on some independent shit. Because you know, I've directed videos and shit like that before. That's some shit maybe you didn't know. But some of those brand new being shit, like Word is Born, I directed that. Fucking Hold On, I co-directed that. Yeah.
You discovered a lot of acts, Dead Prez, a few others. Talk a little bit about anybody you're pursuing. You know, just kind of let the people know who you're responsible for.
Yeah, definitely. Dead Prez. Shout out Stickman and M1. You know, that's the first group I ever really, you know, took under the wing and shape. You know, help. Well, not shape, but help guide and mentor and get them to a point where they was signed and all of that. And yeah, I'm actually kind of responsible for Artifacts too, with Elliot and Tame. Like I recorded their first demo in that basement where we did In God We Trust and all of that. And that was the demo that they played up at Stretch and Bobito that ended up getting them their deal and shit. But they couldn't clear the sample, so they used a different beat or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that was my first unofficial finding. You know what I mean? And I got a couple other unofficials and shit that I was fucking with. But we didn't get to like take it far because they was wilding at the time. Sans DMX, Sans Black Rob, people like that. But I was fucking with them before they came out. You know what I mean? When I was on Brand Nubian and shit early. But as of recently, you know, there's a kid out there named Stove God Cooks that, you know, I brought him into the game, put him with Buster, put him with Rock Marcy and people like that. And, you know what I mean? I was grooming him for like 5 years and he's starting to get that traction now. And, you know, yeah. And I got a kid right now that I'm really liking, really fucking with. His name is 1159. He's from Chicago. And the boy is a beast. Also got a album coming out with my man Smiley the Ghetto Child. He's from Group Home, you know, Gangstar Foundation and all of that. And yeah, that's just my man. He got some hard shit. I sent him mad beats. And he ended up just doing a whole album on some Lord Jamar produced shit. So look out for that. And yeah, I got a few other artists that I'm looking at. Really, to be honest, I would love to start a conscious label. That's what I want to start, a conscious label. So I'm looking for investors. You know what I mean? We need that conscious money. We're gonna
Right.
flood the market of conscious music, and trust me, you know what I mean. I got some fire motherfuckers, but we need that funding. We need to be able to compete against the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right. One last question. You've been in the game for over 3 decades. Hip hop's about to turn 50. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I feel like I'm privileged enough to have seen most of its development. You know what I mean? I'm 54, so I mean, I wasn't there when I was 4 years old, type of shit. But shit. By the time I'm 12 years old, I'm fucking with hip hop. I'm DJing, all of that type of shit. You know what I mean? So I've seen it go through its many different phases and where it's at now, and is it where I had imagined it was going to be, especially sonically? I don't know. I don't know.
Probably not so much,
Probably
but
not so much. But listen, there's dope shit out there. You know what I mean? There's dope shit out there.
right.
Not gonna necessarily give up on hip hop, because there's still shit that I hear it and I'm like, that's dope.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And there always was bullshit. Like there always was bad hip hop. You know what I mean? Just like there's bad rock, there's bad all genres. Like not
I, I,
everything is good.
I think the important thing from our era, your era, you had gatekeepers. I don't think there's any gatekeepers, and everybody's allowing whatever to flow. And if you say it's bad, then you're a hater.
Well,
You know
here's
what I
the
mean?
thing. No, if you say that you're a gatekeeper, that is almost now synonymous with being a hater.
Right.
Because
Right.
I am a gatekeeper. I'm somebody that's like, listen, I've been here long enough to know what's official and what's not. You're not going to dupe me with the bullshit. I know what's real hip hop and what's affecting real hip hop fans. You know what I mean? And I'm talking real hip, not these newfangled. I don't know about these newfangled hip hop fans, but as far as real hip hop fans, what they're listening to, that's why you can't tell me who's the GOAT. Like we have our own criteria. We live in two different worlds. You know what I mean? So just what I'm saying, and I'm just trying to let people know, like, they're trying to take the voice of real motherfuckers out of the equation. You know what I mean? Especially people from my age, because they want to disconnect the youth from it. That's why I'm like, you can call me what you want. Call me a hater, whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm definitely a gatekeeper. And
Absolutely.
I'm here to say, nah, I'm not letting everything in. And nah, that ain't hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you try to masquerade it as hip hop. What you're doing, those mannerisms, all of that, that ain't hip hop. Because it's not just the music. Hip hop is, you
Right.
say it's a culture. Well, certain things are part of it, and certain things aren't.
Facts. Very well said. Very well. Way to wrap up this interview. I want to thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for your contributions. Been a fan since day one. Before we get out of here, let the people know where they can keep up with you at on social media and where they can catch your Godcast at.
Hey, it's at Lord Jamar on all platforms. LORDJAMAR. Jamar. You motherfuckers don't know my name is Jamar by now. I hate when these niggas say Jamal. Like, god damn. Been 30 years, right? It's Jamar, Lord Jamar. And yeah, check me out on YouTube. You know what I mean? Godcast, subscribe. Click that notification bell. Click all that good shit.
All right. Thank you
And
so much. We want to thank.
you can get to all of that through my in my bio. I got my link tree and all the significant links are right in there.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing these thoughts and in-depth behind the scenes with this album. We're going to continue to support you and everything you got going on. Much success and respect to you, and I'll see you again in the future.
Thank you, Sin-seer.
I appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace.